Welcome to Winds of Change. I'm your host, G.V. Kara. Today I invite you to join me in celebrating the possibilities of the many changes taking place around us. We are here today to talk about creativity and teamwork. Linda Naiman and I will be engaged in a painting session with live music thanks to the Jazz Think Trio.
People know this stuff. I mean, people know what good leadership feels like and looks like.
Do you know the expression, if you can't think of something nice to say? How does that usually end?
I don't know who you think you are. You've never been a good team player. Nobody likes, and now I'm personally attacking you.
They really see work as something that they don't want to do. Mm-hmm. And so they see exercise as something they don't want to do because they look at exercise and work kind of along the same parallel. They're like, don't they call it working out?
What if you're a skeptic and you're sitting there thinking, well, I can't see it, I can't hear it, how do I even tap into it?
So when you want to move forward in life, where do you need to be looking? And what kind of energy do you need to have in your body to move forward?
He got his prosthetic, G.V. He started practicing on it, which was a lot of work. When it's up this high, it's a great deal of work.
Of course.
And he died practicing. He died coming from his essence.
But what this does is it makes me concentrate on a focal point and walk through the problem, which is amazing.
Yes. Well, authenticity is really being the same person in all parts of our lives. It's being genuine and grounded.
But you have undertaken that strategic process in just getting across the street. So all of us do it. It's just understanding what we're doing, reflective thought, and thinking about what we're going to be doing and crafting and putting on paper to make that happen.
In the case of human population, there's only 4 things that can balance the loop.
Okay.
The one is warfare.
Okay.
The other one is disease.
Okay.
The other one is famine, running out of food.
Yes.
And the other one is voluntary reduction in numbers.
I want to talk to them about the element of power. So I believe that youth, children, teenagers are confused between what power is and what force is.
All of a sudden you get a phone call giving you some bad news, boom, your body has to go through some sort of a chemical reaction stressor, and our thoughts produce chemicals.
Okay.
And a empowering thought produces empowering chemicals. Every time you have a disempowering thought, you produce disempowering chemicals. And these thoughts repeated over periods of time eventually produce a state of being.
You know what you should do? Is you should invite the Dalai Lama together with Peter Senge and Jim Collins and Margaret Wheatley, some real leaders in organizational development and change, and have them in a fishbowl sort of dialogue, and you invite a whole bunch of CEOs to sit around the outside and listen to them in conversation. And you charge them a whole bunch of money, and it's a fundraiser for the center. They kind of nodded politely. Said, that's interesting. 2 weeks later they came back and they said, we've talked to the Dalai Lama about your idea. He's willing to do it. He's coming here in the fall of 2006. Would you like to organize it?
So visions are basically to change the chemistry, because our bodies are like radio stations, and our mind is like that one channel we've tuned into. But usually it's mental, intellectual, sometimes emotional. So it's very personal. It's very very minimal to the wholesome energy. So usually, when through a vision, I have to basically switch their channel to their own soul channel, that station. So where their soul can broadcast.
I'd just like to, in honor of your show and what we're talking about, I'm gonna ground us both by singing one of our songs.
Of course.
Oh, hello, hello.
one of the ways that I learned about it was just at the very beginning of my career with this work. And my father was in the acute stage of his leukemia, so he's in the last 3 months of his life. He's a physician, he knows exactly what's happening. He's told us the stages, but he's now been hospitalized. And my mother and I are sitting with him in his room one day, and he needs to go to the bathroom, so he's getting up out of the bed, and he makes his way, and he comes back, and he's wearing those little flimsy gowns, and it's all very awkward. And as he's getting back into bed, and my mom's physically helping him, because he can't keep food or fluids down, he's lost weight, and he's lost muscle tone. And he says something I've never heard anything remotely like this come out of his mouth before. He says, just kind of to himself, almost under his breath, I'm such a wimp. And even right now, that was 10 years ago that he died. Such a powerful reminder for me about the power of that script.
The other child lives in an Aboriginal community in the desert. He has been doing vandalism, poorly at school, similar kinds of things. What that community chooses to do is to call a circle. And at the beginning of the day, they put him in the circle, starting with his father, then his mother, then his aunts, then the whole community, and finally the chief. They spend the whole time telling him how they appreciate him, how they love him, specific stories about his childhood. Every single one of those is a positive story. There isn't a hint of blame. Nobody mentions the vandalism at all. And then the key question is, which child has the greater chance of changing?
I also have to show you this. This is the back of the CD cover is one of the propelling elements of this project, where Zoe wrote one day when I was sitting at my desk, she wrote a little note seeing that I was feeling a little stressed because I was worrying about something that would never happen. And she wrote, "I know you can do this, Daddy." And that is also part of this whole project, because we believe that we as humans can all get together and practice a religion that is more spiritual than it is segmented.
Veinenu tirena, tirena malchutecha, kadavar ha'amur b'shirei uzecha. Veinenu tirena, tirena malchutecha, kadavar ha'amur b'shirei uzecha. Al yedei David, al yedei David, al yedei David, Mashiach tzidkecha.
Most people still wake up some mornings and feel that something is still missing. So they carry on getting on, they jump on this wheel and carry on running and running and running, chasing the next thing that we've been told that we need to get, the next car, the next holiday, the next job, the next million, whatever it really is, it doesn't really matter.
Of course.
And what does matter is what's driving. And what's driving here is that something's missing. And if something's missing, it means that I need to look forward to the next thing, which is also what we found from the horizontal perspective. That people are always waiting.
Why those two words together? Like, what is it about emotion and intelligence put together?
Well, lots of people wonder that, because they will say they're a contradiction in terms. They say my emotions make me stupid, not intelligent.
Absolutely.
But I think that's a real misunderstanding. Our emotions can help us think. Our emotions can help us decide. Our emotions can help us problem solve because they're giving us important information.
It's often said that, our purpose is to affect the world, to change the world. And over again from other teachers I've met, and it's a fairly consistent message, that our purpose is to work on ourselves. The work we do on the planet is the price we pay for our space, for our very existence, not the other way around.
When I was asked to go by a colleague of mine,
she asked if I knew anybody who would like to go to Rwanda to teach prenatal and to help nurses train volunteers. And I just said yes automatically. It was not a question. It was something that has always been a part of my life, is looking after babies, and I have a background in public health nursing as well as special care nursery.
One of my favorite authors, Og Manino, says that if you take a brush and you put some paint and you make a brush stroke, nobody in the entire world can copy that. Nobody can copy your chisel mark. Nobody can duplicate your handwriting. Nobody can sell like you. And that applies to all the viewers out there. So to realize that I'm unique,
of course,
and cherish just uniqueness, be authentic. That's step one.
Well, I was riding home on my bicycle one day, having just changed my batteries, and I realized that my bicycle light is a 1 watt light.
Okay.
So this is a watt. This is, so if you imagine 1.7 of these applied over the course of the whole Earth. I mean, this is the impact of this. That's how much additional radiative energy is embraced, is trapped in the Earth's atmosphere as a result of the extra CO2.
Ramana Maharshi, a great sage from India, says, "Know thyself, and all else will be known." And it's so true. I mean, how many people really know who they are? You know, they're living in a world where perhaps, you know, they're living in someone else's walking someone else's footsteps, in a job where they really don't like to be, and wake up every morning and think, oh goodness, here's work again. But really, is that what life is all about?
The next one I think we should try is the teacup laugh. Okay.
So there's different types of laughter?
Oh yeah. We start off
my.
usually with some greetings, okay, and then we get into laughter, and we make up laughters all the time because it's being present in the moment with laughter. When you're laughing, can you worry about stuff? No, you're present, right? Just like in yoga, you're present when you're in the yoga forms, right? And it's about the breathing and being present, right?
So
and
what does it mean if you get a head? Like, I'm getting a headache back here. Does that mean I don't laugh enough?
I think you need. You know what? That's a good point. Maybe you need to drink some water. Have some water.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Refresh, because we always tell people at the end of a session.
Yes.
And I always say that to my clients, is like, swallow that frog, trust me. Whatever it is that holds you back, you
Just
have
do
to
it.
embrace it. You know, you get to a point where, you know, you are halfway through your life, whatever you know, around 40ish, it's really time to just kind of really take a fearless inventory, and it's like, well, where could I be better? Where could I have more? Where could I be different? Where could I have more adventures?
So just share with us your philosophy on life.
Well, that's a loaded question. I'll tell you a story.